Okay, so first of all, congratulations on your award yesterday. That must have
Thank
been
you.
a nice little added bonus for your trip.
It was magical and a little surreal. It's quite a room to be standing in front of, but it was a treat.
Does it mean a lot to you to get these kind of things? It's important to have this recognition.
I, you know, Venice has a very special place in my heart. I think it's a remarkable place to screen films. Um, there's a generosity here that I don't think you find at many other festivals, and I think a real passion for cinema. Um, Also, personally, for me, my first film that I ever directed, Everything is Illuminated, screened here and got this very warm reception. So every time I'm here, I feel very welcome, and I feel it's a very supportive and loving festival. So I like it.
And great to be here with this movie, which was fantastic. I saw it yesterday. I really enjoyed it. So
Thank you.
congratulations on the film.
Thank you.
And it's nice because it's not your kind of average sports movie. It's very different from the sort of rise to fame that we see, or the drive and the sort of mindset of most athletes that you get shown. So
Yeah.
what was it? What is his drive? What is Chuck's drive, and what was it that you liked about that sort of journey that he goes on?
I think I'm a huge fan of Chuck. He's a remarkable athlete. But I think what really compelled me about this story was the sort of the trip down the rabbit hole of narcissism. I think was really meaningful to me, and the way he does it so openly and with such innocence and kind of exquisite clumsiness that I think we all feel, but few of us have the nerve to show. And Chuck, being such a fearless person, doesn't hide from anything, punches, mistakes, failures as a human being, as a man, everything he wears on his face. And I admire that deeply, that I admire the humanity of a person with that kind of courage, and that kind of person is an open book, and you're able to read from and learn. And so I really love him very much, and his story.
And I mean, I've done a lot of boxing in my time. I've been punched in the face. I've had my nose broken at least twice. Had that experience of being punched
From
before?
boxing?
Yeah, from boxing.
You box?
Yeah,
Oh,
I do
fantastic.
box. Is it something that, had you been punched before this film?
Yes, I've been boxing for about 15 years. I love boxing, and not because I want to get punched in the face, believe it or not. Although in the beginning, there's a real kind of primal fear about being punched in the face that it's incredibly exciting to get past. And the first time that you're punched in the face, as you know, having boxed probably, you realize, oh, that doesn't hurt really at all. I don't know what I was afraid of. And getting through that psychological thing is a kind of wonderful metaphor for life. And I think Chuck represents that in this incredibly profound way, that he actually, I think, took great joy in being pummeled by Muhammad Ali for 15 rounds, by arguably the greatest fighter of all time for 15 rounds. I think there's character building stuff. There's clearly bodybuilding stuff in the world of boxing that is important. But I think there's also character building stuff in the world of boxing in terms of work ethic and in terms of dealing with fear that just has stuck with me and has made me keep up the sport.
Yeah, that whole fight or flight thing is very...
So powerful.
Yeah, pretty powerful.
And when you can focus and stay in the pocket and realize that often the best way to deal with your fear is to move towards it rather than away from it. When that first happens, it's a really great feeling.
And then there's also the ego side to Chuck. I mean, he certainly had an ego. Is that something? And I'm guessing as an actor, that's something you have to deal with in everyday life quite a lot. There is a lot of egos around. How do you tend to deal with other people's egos?
Well, I'm not worried about other people's egos so much as I am my own. It's if we believe the central lie of fame, which is that we're the most interesting person in the room, it quickly becomes a very lonely existence because we very quickly become the only person in the room. And that to keep that idea, that once you have children, you've got to get over that, and you've got to teach our kids to look at the world with as much wonder as the world looks at us. Otherwise, they're, pardon the term, but screwed. Um, and I think that that's one of the beautiful things about Chuck's journey. And you see him now with Linda and his family. He's a remarkable guy who's so loving and so present. And he's because he's been through those wars, he's been through those battles, and he's, it's a terrible cliche, but he slayed the dragon, and I can see it when I see him with Linda.
Thank you. I think my time seems to have run out. So thank you. It was lovely
Thank
to
you.
talk to you. Thank you.
Are you still boxing?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, a bit of Thai boxing, a bit of.
Oh, you're doing
kickboxing as
kickboxing?
well. But mainly just normal boxing now.
Right on.
The kicking's my back can't cope with kicking anymore.
I never.
I'm away that I always lose where everything is in the room because you're in a hotel and I walk into the bed like every day so far. I've banged
Banging
my shins.
Ow.
I've got like bruises all down my leg.
Rolling.
Okay.
5 minutes.
Okay. So first of all, how was yesterday and how nice was it to see Liev accept an award at the festival?
Yeah, that was fantastic. Well deserved, and his speech was beautiful. And the road of this story, this movie is a long road, and literally it's. I mean, I don't know the exact number of years, but it's at least 8 years that it first came to him, and he loved the script and the story right away, and stayed connected to it all those years. Oftentimes when something comes to you and it doesn't find its way to get up and running in the first year or two, your interest and passion sort of peters out, but it didn't with this, and he just kept trying to find a way to get it done, and so here we are. it's a great thing, and yeah, he should be acknowledged for that, and all of his other work as well. It's fantastic. Very happy for him.
And at what point did you kind of come on board? Is it something because you've been hearing about it for years, and then you're like, well, I might as well now be in it because I've heard all about it for all these years?
Well, interestingly enough, it first came through friends of ours, and they had my email address, and I passed it on to Liev, and then, we thought it was such a great story, and I always thought I would love to be involved. And then finally, when it came together, and with the right people, and he rewrote and worked quite a lot on the script. He asked me if I would play one of the roles, and I was absolutely into it. And I think I something's going to bite me. So whoops.
I think
Is it gone?
Yeah, it's gone. It's gone.
Really did feel like it was getting close.
Circling. It was circling.
Yeah. I loved Linda because she was, well, first of all, she's the one that ends up with the guy, and it's such a lovely love story. The two of them, when you meet them and you become invested in them as people, you see their love story, and 30 years on, they're still so sweet together. And but also she's like a woman, and she's fully grown, and she tells the truth, and she's not a nitpicker. Not to say that Phyllis, was right to try and change him. He was on a self-destructive path. But Linda was just like, I'm going to stand back here. Yeah, I see who you are. No, it's not for me right now, but let's see at another time. And sure enough, they bump into each other again, and the timing is right. And yeah, she just says, look, stop what you're doing. Those people that you're believing and investing in, they're not real people for you. They're not telling you the truth, and I'm just going to tell you the truth. It's not the right path you're on, and he sort of, it's just the right time for him to hear that information, and he stops and he listens, and then they find their way to move forward, and it's a really beautiful story.
And then do you and Liev like to work together? Or is it something? Does it have to be a real special project for you to work together, or is it something you enjoy to do anyway? Or are you quite careful to pick only doing it?
I mean, of course, we'd love to work together a lot more, but it's not. You don't see real life couples on screen a lot, and I think there's a reason for that, and it's not easy for an audience to suspend disbelief and not take all that, we've seen them in that situation and that situation at the supermarket with their children and on bikes and they get lost in that story, and it's hard to fall into the one on screen. that said, these two characters were so different than either of us, and we get to make these sort of physical transformations. It felt like it was possible, and it was fun for us. So I don't know that you can do it too many times. Even when you're not part of a real life couple, if you act with somebody you've done many movies with too many times, it can be a little jarring.
Same thing.
Yeah.
And just finally, like, there's a lot about egos in this story as well. Is it? And it's obviously, as an actor, something you come up against quite a lot. I'm imagining there's a lot of egos around. How do you cope with people's egos? What's your kind of?
You can see it very quickly. It does surprise me when you're in a film experience, when you're making a film and there's an outsized ego. Because mostly people behave well these days because you can't really get away with it. You know, life's short. There's always someone else great around the corner. But yeah, it happens every now and again. But you just think, okay, how can I take care of this situation and protect yourself, you know? But I've just finished this film called The Glass Castle, which is an adaptation of a memoir by Jeanette Walls, and I work with Brie Larson, who's just come off winning an Oscar, and Woody Harrelson, and I couldn't believe how there was just no ego in the room whatsoever, and the director as well. All three of them just so kind and gentle and easy with each other, and no movie star status going on whatsoever, and it's possible. There's no need for all that puffing up and cutting other people down to make you feel bigger. That was just a great team of people, and so yeah, it's sad when you see it and surprising.
Thank you very much. But in front of me.
No, I did. This clock is not a good idea. But
it's kind of weird, isn't it?
That's how the industry works.
But do they do that in America in junkets?
Yes.
'Cause they don't do it in London. They never have that.
The clock?
No.
No,
Oh,
I've
God.
never seen that. This is a very
It's weird.
Venetian thing.
Really?
No, it's the
What's
first
it
time I
doing?
see the clock. Don't start the clock
Oh,
yet.
what's it doing? It's doing something really weird.
No, you're cheating. Sorry, reset.
That's like seconds. Oh god, it shows the seconds as well.
Yeah. So
Okay,
it's
I'm not
like
even
the
gonna look at
Olympics.
it.
You get to like tenths of seconds.
Yeah, I can do a bolt and just like do it in 8 seconds. Okay, so first of all, how did you find the screening last night? How much fun was it to be in Venice with the movie?
It's fun to be in Venice, to be with the crowd that really have a love relationship with cinema, to be finally reunited with the cast and see the movie, and have a general feeling that audience and press like the film. So I'm very happy. We're at a comfortable place.
Great. And are you actually a boxing fan? It sounds like a silly question.
I'm a
but you-
sports fan. I love American football. I love soccer. I love hockey. And I was interested younger in boxing, but I'm not a super connoisseur, so I had to dig into it. But while preparing the film, I made sure not to look at any boxing films. I didn't want to be contaminated by other movie or filmmaker's perspective on boxing. The problem with boxing in a movie is that you're not necessarily compared to the real boxing in real life, but other boxing films. So I just wanted to step away from that and use my documentary training to try to, identify the sequences in the real match between Ali and Wepner that were interesting and pertinent to our film.
No, I mean, I think it is very different from other sports films, which I think is a good thing. And for example, you don't really show any of the training side of it and the women's side. Was that a conscious thing? You didn't really want that in, and you wanted.
We've seen that so many times, those trainings, the montage, and also you have to realize that the redemption at the end doesn't come through this big heroic match. There's not a rematch at the end. It doesn't end with boxing. Boxing is only a thing that happens in the first act. In the second and third act, it's much more about his personal life. So I think in that sense, audience will accept that boxing is part of the story, but not the whole story.
And what about Chuck's own reaction to the film? Has he seen it? Have you heard what he thinks of it? Does
He
like
has
it?
seen it in New York. We weren't there, and he called Liev to congratulate him. And Liev told me, I have to see him in person to know if he's telling the truth. but the chances is coming. He's coming to Toronto with us, and we'll look at the film again together with the audience there. And he'll be presented to the crowd, so I'm looking forward to that moment. Him and Linda, they're still together, of course.
Which would be great. I mean, that'd be great. And the actual fighting scene is very gruesome and realistic in the film. Was that how did you kind of achieve that?
Well, I have an actor who agreed with me that in most boxing films, you'd never quite believe the hit because they're hidden behind camera tricks and editing. Liev has a boxing training. He's been boxing for 12 years, and he agreed to take real hits. So what you see on screen is our real hits. But also his boxing partner, Pooch Hall, they know each other very well. They play in Ray Donovan together, so there was a trust going on there, so they could push the limit of the choreography.
And what about, there's the whole ego side to him. How do you, as a director, how do you kind of deal with egos? Because I'm assuming in the...
We all have egos. We live in the world of ego in cinema, so we can, I think, relate to that. Fame, success, what do you do with it? Do you just use it, or do you grow through it? And many of us are often ill-prepared, faced with instant fame like that. And in this case, it's even more interesting because he actually lost the fight, but still became very famous for being this guy who stood up for 15 rounds against Muhammad Ali, which was an amazing feat because not many men did that. So I think in a way a lot of us can relate to that, and certainly I knew that it was important to Liev that we talk about that relationship with fame.
And what do you think his drive was? Because it's not like sort of your average sportsman's drive where it's kind of to be the best in the world. It doesn't seem to be. It seems like that his drive to succeed was in...
No, it was a drive to be loved. And this is also something that anyone can relate to. I think we all have that. We have people who love us around us, but we need that extra pat on the back. I know I experienced that as a filmmaker because you have like people you don't know who stop you on the street and say, "We love what you do. We love you." Well, they don't love me. They don't know me, but they love a version of me or an image of me. And I think that's also the case with Chuck Wepner. So that was an identity aspect that I love to explore in the film.
And what about like his relationship with drugs and women, and he spars? That's not like it happens to a lot of sportsmen. What do you think it is that kind of, and they have problems with money? It seems to be like a theme.
I think it's just the temptation. It's just there, and when you get famous, you get introduced to people, and you get to introduce to all kind of people, and you need to, even in film festival, late at night, you get introduced to very interesting and weird people, and there's temptations. So you need to know where to draw the line.
Okay, we'll leave it there. I can see my clock is flashing
I know
at
where
me.
to draw the line.
Yeah.
I just drew the line. 0-0.
Just drew the line
It's
at
gonna explode.
5:24.